There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone.
Welcome to Sci-Fi Talk on the Fangirl Zone, a podcast where we discuss shows on the Sci-Fi Channel. I'm Steve.
And I'm Sean Fangirl S. And today we'll be discussing episode 10 of season 1 of SurrealEstate. We're still hoping it's season 1.
Yes.
They haven't announced it, and this is very frustrating.
Yeah.
At least at this point, because we are recording this like the day after the episode aired. So we don't know yet.
No.
So by the time you're listening to this, we're really hoping that they've announced that we're going to have more seasons.
Yes.
So you're not like, he's not what they're talking about.
Tim had tweeted out earlier in the week thanking all the cast and crew and everybody, and I was just kind of going, no, not again.
This is such a good one.
Yes, it is, and it's not expensive, so come on. Sci-Fi, give us a season 2.
Come on, you keep giving us these weird random things. Give us this.
Yes, absolutely, because this was an amazing episode that did not go the way I thought it was going to.
No, and I will tell everybody that I wasn't able to watch live, which was very upsetting because I lost power in my internet and cable. So I couldn't watch it. It was very, very upsetting for me. And I'm like, damn it, I wanted to watch this live.
Right.
But I didn't get to watch it. But Steve just happened to say, oh yeah, kind of a cliffhanger and things happened. And then when I watched it, I was thinking something completely different happened.
Yes.
Until the last moment when the credits rolled. It's like, oh, okay. But still, I was like, oh no, what's happening? Steve had me a little tense, and I kind of peeked at the tweets, but I was afraid to read too much because I didn't want to spoil myself.
Right.
But oh my gosh, yes, this episode was so good. A lot of twists and turns, some jump scares. Wish you would have warned me about that part. As I'm sitting there on the couch eating popcorn. It's like, ah!
Well, Pod Dog got his snack for the night.
Yeah, it sucks.
Her
She doesn't
snack.
like popcorn. She just likes to lick it and then leave it. So then I had wet popcorn everywhere too.
No.
I had to pick up. So it was gross. But anyway, let's jump into the episode that made me spill my popcorn.
Yes, episode 10, The House Always Wins. The Donovan house confronts Luke and the team with their deepest losses and greatest regrets. That already sounds ominous.
Yeah, there was definitely need for tissue through part of it.
Yes. Now we open with the narration from August, giving us a crash course on the Donovan house. He somberly reveals that everything they thought they knew was wrong, and we see August is unconscious in the basement of the paranormal-infused property. And we cut over to Luke's place where he wakes up in his home. Megan has been taking care of him since the Donovan place unceremoniously flung him off the steps.
I was starting to get worried about how long the time frame was at this point.
Right. Because Luke was not looking real well and had probably a 3-day growth of facial hair.
Maybe he's just one of those people that
It really grows fast.
wolfs out every night. Which made him playing Doc Holliday easier when he had to grow his own mustache.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we do find out that Luke wound up with a concussion. Well, that's good. It wasn't as bad as...
At least he didn't break his neck.
Right. Now, meanwhile, Phil, Zoe, and Susan are strategizing in the office. They pull up a map of the Donovan residence, but unfortunately, there are only 2 points of ingress.
That seems strange.
Yes, for a house that big, especially.
Yes. But I will tell you, I've seen houses that only have one entrance and exit.
Yes.
It's like, excuse me, no, something happens. I need to know I can get out a different way.
Yes. Now, later on, Susan stops by to check on Luke, and Megan asks Susan how the latter maintains her sanity amid the chaos of dealing with the supernatural. Megan's had doubts from the get-go, especially coming from a science-based background. background. Now, Luke urges Susan to keep the others out of the Donovan house. Like that's going to happen.
Right, yeah. That'll go over like a lead balloon, people.
Yeah, because Zoe is keen on rescuing August, and understandably so. However, when she tries to enter the property, the ghost of her dead boyfriend, Kyle, not Kenny, wants her to steer clear. Oh, that was a jump.
Oh my gosh. So that was one of them that got me. And I just kept thinking, okay, why is he there?
Right.
And is he actually trying to help?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, oh no, what is this?
And then Phil calls Luke with information regarding Luke's birth certificate, and he's going to send it by email.
He wants him to look. He's been talking about it.
Yep. So back at the office, Phil, Zoe, and Susan reunite to continue their brainstorm session. Phil discovers another nearby property with a tunnel that leads to the Donovan home. Well, isn't that convenient?
I didn't understand that. And then he had to explain it a little bit more. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, okay. Prohibition.
Yeah, got it.
So our dynamic trio knocks on the door of the said nearby property, and Susan switches on the realtor charm and tells the owner her client is interested in buying his house. And of course, she pulls out a business card and writes a figure on the back and hands it to him with the starting asking price. And it's enough for the guy to go ahead and invite them in. Probably a six-figure.
I know. I was like, I wanted to know how much it was.
Yes. Thankfully, Megan vouches for the crew, relieving the owner's initial reservations. Now, after the owner leaves, Susan, Zoe, and Phil search for the basement tunnel's entrance. And Zoe figures that she's found it and grabs the closest thing to her, which is a golf club, and starts a whacking.
Okay, with the guy mentioning, oh yeah, a bunch of dead-eyed children in the hall, ha 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 ha. It's like, dude, seriously? That's not exactly a ha ha kind of thing.
No. Yeah, it's a wonder the house hasn't been to his house yet.
Right? It's like, maybe something else is going to see you and it's not going to be good.
Yeah. So Zoe is correct, revealing a dark, lengthy corridor on the other side.
Yep, thought that was going to be creepy.
Yes. And then we go back to Luke's place. And this really, this was tough, because Megan asked Luke if she can stay at her place for a while. She's going to be busy applying for residencies over the next few weeks. And while it's not explicitly stated, it sure seems like it was implied that they'll be taking a break.
I honestly thought that this was somehow with her being connected with the house.
Right.
That's what was going to happen, and that she knew, like, if they figured it out, like, she wouldn't actually be there or something. Like, she would disappear too.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking, like I said, I was thinking things were going a whole different way.
Right.
Although we did not see her at the very end.
No, we did not.
So my theory may still stand.
Oh, yeah, it sure might. Now, of course, then we go to the tunnel, and our trio encounters spooky spirits on their journey, as the second jump scare was one coming down from above them.
Yeah, that was the one that had me drop popcorn.
Yep. And you think, okay, this is going to be a humdinger of an episode. We're going to get more ghouls than we can shake a stick at. But we go back to Luke, where he opens the file Phil sent him. And it's a birth certificate, but we don't see what it says.
I just seen that on the PDF, it said certificate of stillbirth.
Oh, okay.
That's all I was able to see.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, is he not really here?
Right.
I was really like spiraling with what possibilities could happen.
Right.
And it's like, oh my God, did he somehow come back? But it wasn't actually a person who was supposed to be born. And that's why things are weird. And I was like, what is happening?
Yeah,
this is crazy.
Yes. So later, Luke attempts to enter the Donovan home. However, he hears voices emanating from it. But all it takes is a knock it off for those voices to quickly subside. Okay. Suddenly a figure appears, a human manifestation of the building known as the house.
I got a very, oh God, what was the name of that movie? Phantasm feel.
Right, yes.
For like the house, I guess.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, this is so creepy.
The house reveals that the portal Luke sealed existed before the property did. And oh, this portal isn't supposed to let things in, it's a way out. So all the spirits are lingering around with no means of egress. Now, wait a minute. This is just a little iffy for me because before they even sealed it, that place was full of ghosts.
Right. Maybe they were just hanging around though.
I don't know. The way it ended and everything just kind of went, whoosh, I'm gone. Well, why didn't they, whoosh, I'm gone when they had it open? I don't know. I still don't trust that giant hand that came out of there.
No, that's freaking me out too.
And then we find August, who is awake and reunited with his dearly departed wife, Darla. Oh, we gotta have all kinds of mind games here. This isn't gonna be spooktacular. This is gonna be mind games. And upstairs, the house tells Luke about the many reunions his friends are about to have. Ominous much?
Right.
And Luke's mother, Victoria, makes her grand entrance, which was scary enough because Luke should never turn his back to her. That's for darn sure.
No. And I mean, we've seen her a couple times and she looks much older, but I don't know. When the way things played out, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. Then Susan wanders into the study upstairs to discover her father, Michael. And they have a big hug. So you go, okay, what's this story? And Phil bumps into Father Diaz while on the hunt for August.
I thought that was weird. I'm like, okay, who is this guy to him?
Right. I think he probably was a sponsor or somebody that Phil learned under. Almost as bad as his sister. And lastly, to round out the reunion, Zoe finds Kyle sitting on the stairs. What the hell is going on here?
Yeah, because it's not like all these people died close.
No.
Like to this building.
No, not at all. And we go back to August, who confesses his struggles regarding his grief. His attractions to other women haven't blossomed into something concrete because he just can't let Darla go. And you're ripping out my heart, Augie.
Oh my gosh. It was really sad. And because she kept saying, it was supposed to be till death do us part. And
right. Now, of course, Phil isn't having as sweet of a reunion as August. Father Diaz blatant homophobia rears its ugly head as he accuses Phil of turning his back on his faith.
He was getting mean.
Yes.
And I honestly thought, kind of like the house that gave them everything they want.
Right.
That was going to be what kind of clicked. And it's like, okay, this is what was not what he was really like. So he wouldn't be like this now or something.
Yeah, this guy was, whoo, I think everybody wanted to punch him.
Yeah.
Now, Susan divulges her regrets about her last words to her dad before he passed, and she notes that she's still trying to make him proud of her. That is also pretty heavy because that you can take with you to your grave.
Yes. And the way that he was just really dismissive about everything.
Right.
I thought that was going to, again, kind of cause things to go awry.
Right. Because her dad never showed her any affection or told her that he loved her when he was alive. It's getting a little rough here. Zoe asks Kyle why he never reached out before he died. No phone calls or texts. He suffered from his addiction alone, and they had plans to attend college together. Wow. And then out of nowhere, Darla vanishes. Susan's dad apologizes to her, and he disappeared. And Kyle asserts that his death isn't on Zoe's hands and urges her to move on with her life.
I was totally crying with everything with Zoe.
Oh,
because it was not a side of Zoe that we've seen.
No.
Even when she opened up to
Susan,
it's like this was really raw.
Yes, very.
And so this had me, definitely like crying with this. And then the whole thing with Susan's dad, because I think a lot of people have dealt with stuff where you feel like you didn't get to say something to correct whatever,
right,
might be between you. And then it's like, okay, so everything seems to be like coming together,
right,
except for Phil. And I was just getting pissed with the whole thing with Phil.
Oh, yeah, Because, of course, Father Diaz doesn't vanish until he calls Phil a waste.
I was so mad.
Yes.
Because when he had said, like, you turned your back and the perversion
Yes.
and the thing about the celibacy, and he's like, I never broke my vow.
Right.
It's like, no, but others did. It's like, wait, okay, but who are others? You're talking to Phil right now.
Right.
And I kind of was thinking that he was talking about himself and he was like angry that he didn't think of a way to get out like Phil did. And I don't mean get out, but think to walk away the same way.
Right. Now that's a possibility.
Because that just kind of seemed weird the way he was saying it.
Right. So Zoe, Phil, and Susan come together after their family reunions and go looking for August, and they find him sitting by the portal entrance. He's injured but alive.
Yeah, and Phil was just in that room.
Yes.
Although, again, when Zoe's Kyle had said, oh, yeah, the house is always changing, I'm like, oh, my God, we have like a rose red situation
Yes.
here. Like, great, they're never going to get out.
Nope. And after informing the group about the actual use of the portal, the gang starts to head out. Let's get the hell out of here. Unfortunately, a mini mountain of structural debris impedes them.
Why couldn't Susan move it around?
Exactly. That's kind of what I was thinking was, well, she could just kind of use her telekinesis and clear a path. But
Maybe because it was going to keep happening.
it might, yeah. Yeah, because it looked like it, I don't really think it was the house that caused it. It's just that tunnel was so old that the wood that was holding up holding up above looked like it might be getting close to giving up the ghost, literally. So they have to go back to the portal and they got to figure out a way to get it open. But they've got Susan Ireland on their side and she has a plan.
Finally.
Yes, we go back upstairs where Luke learns a shocking truth. The woman parading around as Victoria is not his mother, but his twin sister. And she choked on his umbilical cord and died right after he was born. So,
Okay, wait a second. Then who was seen going into the house?
Exactly.
Now I'm really questioning what's happening.
Right.
Yeah, and she had like the exact time where it was like 12 minutes and so many seconds or
Yes.
something.
Now, not Victoria wants Luke to kill himself so she can take his place among the living. He's had 36 years, so it's my turn to have 36 years.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either because she was saying that, oh yeah, like you can, blow out your brains or
Right.
cut your carotid or pills if you're squeamish. But I'm like, how is she going to take his place then?
Right. I guess
Is
she
she just
thought
going
if
to
he...
take a form and walk out?
Right. I think she would probably just jump in Luke's body and off they go.
But if he's dead, then that doesn't make sense either.
Well, you got to figure she's thinking, okay, he dies, his spirit leaves. That gives me a body to do with what I want.
Well, I wouldn't want it to be like have a major gunshot wound then. Just
Yeah,
saying.
exactly.
Like, that didn't,
Yeah.
that's what wasn't adding up for me.
Right, yeah. You would think she would have said, just take some pills. Keep your body in one piece at least. And oh, by the way, Mom's still alive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm like, who the hell walked in the house then?
Exactly. You gotta go,
So
hold on a
confused.
minute. No, unless she managed to get out of the house. And with the way his sister really treated him, it was all his fault. It wasn't Mom's fault. It was his fault. And of course, that makes sense with what we saw, the way she talked to him when they had their little discussion up in the library, that she was just mean as hell. Now,
So yeah,
maybe...
it's been her just angry and blaming everyone. I mean, Luke did say that they're not the same when they're ghosts as they are when they were regular people.
Right. And it very well could have been that his twin sister actually saved the mom from the house. You know, she went in, but we don't know how long the sister's been at that house. I mean, the portal's been there a lot longer than the house has been, so she might have just been sitting there hanging out, not wanting to go because she was so mad and angry about her brother killing her. So maybe when she realized that that was her mom who just came in, she did something to scoot her right back out. So we go
Yeah, I can see that.
back to the portal as Susan is about to fire up the finger. And she dons a pair of safety goggles and aims at the chains on the portal door. It's time to get toasty. Now, of course, back upstairs, not Victoria proceeds to get the drop on Luke, who once again turned his back to her, which you never do.
Yeah. Hello. What the heck is wrong with you, Luke? You know things are not going to go well.
Exactly.
I mean, she's telling you to kill yourself, and you're like, I'm fine. I'm going to walk away from her. Maybe no. Maybe no.
And as soon as Susan starts burning the chains, we see a horde of ghosts moving en masse towards the portal. This might not be good. Now, thankfully, Susan blasts open the doorway before Not Victoria murders Luke. All of a sudden, we get an influx of spirits zooming through the entryway, and the house and Not Victoria also disappear. We hope.
Yeah, because that was questionable.
Yes.
Because first we seen everybody walking, and then we see, like all of a sudden, like just the lights with their spirits. And you see the house guy do it, and then you just see something near Luke.
Right.
And I was really worried because I wasn't sure what happened at this point.
Oh, absolutely. We had no clue. And then all of a sudden, we see Zoe and Susan and Phil and Augie going out the front door, and a beat and another beat. And you go, come on, Luke, come on.
Yeah, it's like, where are you?
But finally he does walk out, and you kind of go, because he's bewildered that he can no longer hear the voices that have been living rent-free in his head for 3 decades. They're all gone.
Yeah, and this is where I felt like things were weird.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'll let you talk, and then I'll jump in with why I was thinking things took a different route.
Right. Now, Susan goes up to Luke and tells him how working with him has helped her embrace her powers. Her emotions no longer rule them, and she finally has control over them. And you kind of go, that's great, Susan.
Right. And as Susan's explaining it, they kind of show Luke too, and Luke's just looking just deadpan like nothing.
Right. He's lost.
Like, does he not even know her right now?
Right.
Because that's what it was feeling.
Yeah.
And it was making me worried.
Yeah, absolutely. And he tells her, well, good thing, because you may have to hold down the fort for a while.
And he walks away to his car, and I swear he was walking differently. I'm like, wait, is that how he normally walks?
Yeah, that's...
Like, this is why I thought things were different.
Right. And we see him at the bowling alley calling out for his father, but he doesn't get an answer. Now, did his father go through the portal? I'm not so sure either.
See, up until this point, I was thinking that Victoria managed to choke Luke where he may have died, and that she did jump in his body, and that the light that we seen was Luke and not her.
Right.
And that if we get another season, they were going to have to try to fight to get him back somehow. But then I'm like, why would he be at the bowling alley calling out for his father if it's Victoria or whatever, his sister, and not him?
Right. That's true.
And I'm like, okay, so it wasn't that he was walking different. It was just that I was looking for something to be like, is it him? Is it her? What's going on? That's what I thought the big cliffhanger was going to be.
Right. Instead, it's, will Luke ever be able to hear the voices again?
So he can help people. But at the same time, it's like, but you've helped people do other things without needing the voices. You could do this.
Right. Absolutely.
And then just when we hear him say, like, I don't know if I can, mourn you a second time or lose you a second time? I'm like, oh my gosh, really? I just finished cleaning up my face from the Zoe and Kyle, and you're going to be like, let's do this and mess you up some more.
Yep.
That was hard. That's not cool.
Right. Yeah. George and company definitely hit us in the gut several times in this episode. Instead of giving us awesome scares, it was, no, we're going to get personal on your case and
yeah, we're going to make you cry.
Yes. Instead of scaring the crap out of you, we're going to rip your heart out.
I think they're making the fandom cry anyway, because we don't know what's happening yet for another season.
Right.
It's like, I just want more of this so we know what's going on. Come on, don't mess with us like this. This isn't cool.
Exactly.
I don't think I can take it.
Yeah, I tweeted at Sci-Fi saying, do not do what you did to Dark Matter, Ghost Wars,
God.
Krypton.
Just
give us a second
God.
season.
That's so hard. It's like there was so much going on with all those shows. And then same with this. There's so much going on. And you're just going to be like, we're not going to tell you anything. But we've been down this road before with sci-fi.
Yes.
Like, we didn't know Winona was getting, was it the second or third season?
Yeah, both, I think.
I can't remember which one it was until they found out. I was at New York Comic Con.
Yep.
And Emily told them they had just found out that day, like we were having the panel.
Yep.
It's like, what? Oh my God. You're even messing with your own cast. That's pretty rough.
Yes. Expanse.
Bring
Vagrant
it back.
Queen.
Another one with Tim.
Yep.
Oh my
I
God.
think he proved he could lead a show.
Oh, yes.
And the ensemble is amazing.
Yes, I loved it.
Their family is just greatness. So come on, Sci-Fi, do the right thing and renew this show. It's too good.
Okay, so that was a major roller coaster ride, Steve. But I think there's more roller coaster ahead. It's like when you pause for a moment and you have even more because you're going through the tunnel. We have feedback, do we not?
Yes, we do. Jazz has provided her thoughts on this episode and the season finale. So let's take a listen.
Hello, this is Jazz with a review of the season finale of SurrealEstate. Hopefully it will be renewed, but you never know with sci-fi. I noticed that when Luke did look at the birth certificate, it did say stillborn at the top, and I had freeze framed it to determine what it looked like, and it had female. Her birthday is evidently 3/31/1985, which technically means she was 36 years old. The child's name was only Roman and was listed as a twin. I thought that was a very clever way of making it so that Luke could actually talk to the spirit through the twin connection. I was impressed by that because I had not heard that before. And I also thought it was a nice twist in this episode's plot that they actually did not help by closing the portal from hell, but actually hurt it because all the other spirits weren't able to be sucked back down. We did find some spirits were very friendly, which was good, and some said sorry, and others got hugged, and others got damnation, and probably will lead to lots of therapy. I felt for Father Phil. That was just ouch. It makes sense that the horrible surgeon guy with the funny teeth, who didn't have them this time around, the spiky vampire-looking teeth, enjoyed eating up the horrible emotions because that fed him more, although I didn't know if he ever watched Monsters, Inc. or not, because according to them, laughter gives you more juice, but maybe different world. I thought for sure that they were all going to die when it said, okay, let's split up. We'll find him faster. And I'm thinking, if you're all dead, what's the point? But, even Zoe's like, haven't you ever seen a horror movie? And I thought, oh, good, they actually mentioned it. They did split up and nobody died, and I was very pleased. Some were traumatized, but they still didn't die, and quite a few got closure. So that's awesome, especially if your last memory is yelling at somebody before they passed on. That would leave a whole bunch of guilt, I would think, and just be painful, such is why the despair was, I guess, enjoyable to chew on if you're a bad demon. Darla was neat to see the wife of Augie, who ruined him for other people. I enjoyed seeing Kyle back, who gave Zoe closure and absolution and said it was my fault, so don't blame yourself, and you're too good of a person and you got a scholarship to college, which previously we did not know. At least I didn't. I thought for sure they were all going to start off nice and then warp into somebody mean like the baby sister we find out. But no, actually some of them were positive. So that was a twist in and of itself. They actually all got out of the house, which was also amazing. Phil, when he was asked, said there was nobody special. So prop to him for not giving him any credit. But I suspect that he will have to have lots of therapy for that because that was just mean. I love the fact that Zoe and Susan got a great big hug. So they finally bonded. Threats of death tend to have that effect. But this should be like the second time that she's saved everybody's bacon. The first time was when they did the fireball in the lighthouse. And she was focused and purposeful, kicked ass, worked really well. They worked well as a team. It's a novel that the house turns everything, sort of like a Hogwarts from hell. Everything keeps turning around. It was neat to find out that Luke's mom was actually indeed alive, so that's cool. And I thought it was a really sad way to end the season because he's going, why didn't you tell me? Mom is still around. I would find that depressing too. And hopefully they'll get another season. I could see a way that they could still go on and do it since the Ghostbusters do it and nobody can talk to ghosts except for Slimer. In that team, I personally like the Gal Ghostbusters just because I thought they were awesome and funny. Doesn't take anything away from the previous series, no matter what the whiny fanboys tell you. I love that lots of other people got vindication and validation and that he figured out it was his baby sister who was being horrible and not his mom. I figured that they could do their own Ghostbusters with all of Augie's tools and they need to, Susan can help with the flambéing. So hopefully they'll get another season. Very sad way to end it, but I thought it was cool that one of Zoe's quotes was, "This house is clean, beach." Changed it since I didn't know if you liked cussing in the podcast. Once again, this is Jazz. Thanks very much.
Well, thank you, Jazz, for that wonderful feedback on the final episode of SurrealEstate.
Yeah, holy cow, you picked up all sorts of stuff. I'm glad somebody here paused it so they can see what it said because it wasn't me.
Yeah, me either.
You really did pick up a lot of things, and I don't know if I missed some or just like it went right past me and it's like I may have mentioned it and then just totally forgot. So I think everybody was hoping it was coming back, but I don't know. I hate when they don't tell us anything for a long time. So
right, absolutely.
That's never a good sign.
Nope. And yeah, there was the definite interesting twist in this episode that I don't think either one of us saw coming was, of course, the twin sister, and she was what was allowing him to talk to the spirits. And yeah, once they split up, how many times have we said it on a podcast? Haven't you ever seen a horror movie?
Yeah, we've said that quite often.
Yes.
It's like nobody watches these. So at least we have like reality in here.
Right.
And you know what? I think you're right. I don't think I've ever seen it may be out there somewhere because there's so many horror movies, but I don't think I've ever seen, using the dead sister to talk to the dead kind of thing.
Right. And it was great to see Zoe and Susan get closure and Augie too, basically. And why do they have to trash Phil for? Poor man, he's had enough on his plate.
I thought that was horrible. I'm going to stay right by that statement that was just god-awful.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that. And it was nice that this was the second time that Susan saved the day, and it was even better to see her get a hug from Zoe.
I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, that did happen, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I still think that they'd have that kind of snippy.
Oh yeah, they will still pick at each other. Yeah, but it'll be in a more loving way. And yeah, it was kind of sad to see the season end the way it did, with Luke finding out that his mom is still alive, but he's got to find her now. And is he ever going to be able to talk to his dad again?
Oh my gosh, that's still like the most heartbreaking because it's like, what? What happened?
Yeah.
What does this mean? Did he get sucked in?
I think so. Yeah, it's hard to tell which one it was, if he actually went through the portal to go to heaven or if it's because Luke's connection's gone. That would be frustrating on both parts. You never know. Well, as always, Jazz, we really appreciate your feedback, and you really knocked it out of the park with this one.
Thank you so much, Jazz. Like I said, roller coaster continued. We appreciate everything, and look for my owl. Oh, wait, wrong thing. Look for my email. Well, you know what we think. What do you guys think? Let us know. Even if we're getting this after everything is said and done, we will happily respond to you.
Yes.
So shoot us your thoughts at sci-fi talk@fangirlzone.com or go over to www.fangirlzone.com, check out the contacts page and all the ways to get a hold of us there, and let us know your thoughts on this show. What's upcoming? What have you heard? Are you an insider that knows something? Let us know. And while you're at it, if you can rate and review us on iTunes and every other platform you find us on, because good ratings and reviews help other fans of the show find us. Tell your friends about this show. I don't want to tell you to have them binge it, but binge it.
Yes. We'll pull a manifest.
Yes, that's what they were doing.
Yes.
Watch it over and over.
Yep, that's what they
and
did.
We, of course, hope you're enjoying our podcast. So for this episode, the season finale of SurrealEstate, hopefully season, not series, I am Sean Fangirl.
And I'm Steve. Okay, I just really needed to have that moment.
And until next time.